Good morning, welcome to Something Saturday. So today I thought we would carry on with the soft pastels assortment, and I've just got one more technique to show you. I'm not really sure whether I've got any more after this, so we will wait and see. But thanks for joining me anyway, and I will switch the camera around because, you know, I'm not that exciting, whereas what I'm doing is way more exciting. Okay, bye. So, what I was talking about is to create, hang on 1 minute, I'm just going to see if I can get this to focus. Not sure whether it's focusing properly. I want to create this night sky look. It's probably easier to see on the navy than on the black, but that's quite an interesting look. So I thought I would show you how to create that. All right, so let me sit down, move those out of the way, and obviously we are using soft pastels again. And I'm going to bring in my scrap paper, and I just figured I'd just go with a navy blue card this time, Night of Navy card. So you will need your soft pastels. You will either need a grater or something like this that you can scrape off some of the pastels onto your cardstock. So what we're going to do, we're going to take some of the Daffodil Delight, and we're just going to, hopefully you can see that this is coming off there. It's kind of quite a lot goes on the side as well, but that's okay. And we're going to go with a bit of the Coastal Cabana, because these ones kind of show up nicely on this. So let me just stand up a second and see whether you can actually see what's going on here. So can you see all that loose dust on there? I'm actually going to add a little bit of Night of Navy as well. I'm not sure whether it actually makes a difference or not, but it's actually quite cool on the black cardstock, the Night of Navy. Sort of shows up a little bit. So there we go. So it doesn't need to be like scraped to smithereens or anything. It just needs to be a little bit. Then you will need a bit of baking paper. And you're going to lay that down over top of this. Now, I don't know if you remember, I said last time I was doing something with the pastels that they need to have a way to be set into the cardstock. So what we're doing is we're actually pressing these ones into the cardstock with one of the bone scorers at the moment. I'm hoping this works. But if we were to leave it, they would just all fall off. So you actually do have to do something about getting it to go into the cardstock. So hopefully that has pressed them in. You'll find that this is kind of quite dirty now. And potentially now this will just wipe off. So you still have another process to go through. I'm just going to tap off the excess and get rid of what's on that paper there. So the other process is hairspray. So all I'm going to do is just spray that over, and I now need to leave it to dry off, because what the hairspray will do is you don't need really expensive hairspray, so just go out, buy cheapest one you've got, unless you've already got some cheap one at home like I had. Literally all this will do is kind of set it into the card so that once it's done, it's not then gonna rub back off again. It does a little bit, but not to the extent that it would have done had I just done that before I'd sprayed it. So at the end I might respray it just to set that in place a little bit more. However, let's move on to creating the rest of the card. So I thought I would use some of the trees from the Evergreen Elegance, which if you were part of my Christmas in July class, you will have this set because we used it. It's a cool set. And I probably should have couple of blocks for this. Maybe not a block as big as that. Oh, yay, this one's really sticky. I don't know what happened to this one. That's a good point, actually. When you clean your blocks, I have Orange Power that I buy from the supermarket, and literally all I do is just clean off. So if you end up with any bits of StazOn ink on your block, this will take off the StazOn ink. It will take off the stickiness that you might have from, I don't know why you would have stickiness on your blocks, but you know, somehow they seem to get there. So I'm not judging, because obviously mine was quite sticky just then. There we go. So let's add those guys onto there. So I've got 3 there, and I'm going to find my Versamark. I don't know whether I'm going to use them all or not, but we'll see. So I'm also going to need, excuse my arm there, a bit of cotton wool, because we're going to use that same technique that we used last time. And I wish I could say that I could actually, oh, there we go, I can see it. If I put it on an angle, I can see it. Yay! And let's just pop one more into the corner there. Hopefully you can see that I'm not able to, yeah. Okay, let's just pop that to one side, put those guys to one side, and we're going to go with a bit of colour for this. So I want these trees to be a dark green, so we're just going to pop a bit of the chalk onto there, pick it up with my fluffy thing there, and I'm just going to sort of dust that around there. You can't really tell that it's dark green once it's on, I have to say, but it does just give you that dark image of trees in the foreground, which is all you really want with a card like this. Not really sure what I'm going to do with the card after I've done it, I have to admit. There we go. So a bit of a dusting around, and that just brings out that night sky. But I'd quite like to add a moon. Okay, so with my moon, the one that I did here was a bit of a trial and error thing. And over the page, I actually ended up trialing and erroring it, as it were. So the one that I probably liked the most was done with white craft ink. And literally all you do is just stamp it with the... excuse the fact that I have quite an old pad, Whisper White craft ink pad. So that is one of the watercolour shapes. I've used this little one here, which is this one, which I use on maybe on this one as well, or I might go the larger one. Ooh, there's a question. Do I go a small one just above the trees? I think the small one just above the trees would be really cool, actually. Hang on a minute, I'm going to pop that away. Oh, and just flick that in the general direction of the bin. As I was telling a friend the other day, she was saying how she can't quite understand how people manage to get stuff all over the floor, and I said, yeah, that's because what I do is I kind of put things in the general direction of the bin, and then half of them sort of reach the bin and half of them don't, and that's how I end up with stuff all over the floor. Which doesn't bother me because I'm the only one who comes in here, really, in theory. Anyway, so moving on to the next one. So the other thing I tried was I tried Versamark and puffing the pastels on like I have done here. And I was using yellow, so you can actually tell that between the green and the yellow, there's really not much of a difference. And I didn't like the look that I got with that. So the next one was that I stamped with the Versamark, and I literally just coloured the pastel on top of it and sort of blended it up with a bit of cotton wool, and that's not a bad look actually, but I still think I prefer the white moon. So I'm going to go with the Silvery Moon. By the light of the silvery moon. I'm sure somebody will know that. I remember my grandmother singing that to me. And I am going to shove my moon just there. There. Oh, very happy with that. So I have absolutely no idea, as I say, what I'm going to do with this card. So if anyone's got any suggestions, feel free to say, oh, Heather, you should make that card into a ... Okay. I'm just going to stand up and make sure that we can actually see this. Yeah, I think you can. So I just love the way that you get this sort of like starlit galaxy. And as I say, I am going to give it another quick spray because I'm not convinced that that has... you will notice when you spray it that it all goes dark. So your galaxy all disappears for a little bit. And then when it dries, the galaxy all reappears. So there you go. If you have enjoyed the video, please do feel free to like it. You know, like it, and share it with your friends. So share the love and come back and see me again next Saturday. I'll see you then. Oh, let's just make it look sort of neat and tidy-ish before I log off, just in case I end up being able to use this frame. We never know. All right, see you then. Thanks. Bye.